Here are Ryan's top 3 favorite wrestlers. Number 3, Will Ospreay. Number 2, Kenny Omega. Number 1, Master Wada. No way, that can't be right. Damn! Now back to Jack and Ryan on the MonsterCast.
Who's the devil? Which is obviously a big deal because we know it's not MJF. Or at least we assume that it's not MJF. We don't technically know that it's not MJF, but we've seen the devil, and what the groundswell of support for two names is Brit Baker and CM Punk, which is crazy. But would be awesome. I think either one would be mind-blowing, even with people talking about it, both of them incessantly on Twitter. I still think that's your two best options. One of those, I don't give a fuck which one, I would be mind-blown.
I feel like people would notice CM Punk walking around backstage enough to say it.
Yes, I don't that's the thing. What did we talk about last week? It could be anybody under there.
That's not what I mean. That's not what I mean. I mean in storyline. I don't mean in real life. I understand it's not him if it is him underneath the clothes.
You're talking about fucking kayfabe.
I'm talking about kayfabe.
Yeah.
So, and what, like, how the fuck does he just show up backstage all the time, steal a mask or wear a mask?
No one knows who it is, bro. He could have got Ace Steel to do it for him.
Nobody's stopping that man backstage like, hey, I just saw a jab, bro. What the fuck? Who are you? What are you doing back here? Why are you wearing this shit?
Danhausen could have stole it for him. Brody King could have stole it for him. He's got friends in AEW.
Danhausen would be an interesting pick.
That would be fucking hilarious. Yeah. Danhausen could have stole it for CM Punk and gave it to him.
Danhausen could be the devil.
He's very nice and very evil, so it's possible.
He's very evil, yeah.
But anyway, the question here is, with the swell of more Britt Baker and CM Punk responses to this question after this week on Dynamite, because when that video package played of the devil and him grabbing the thing, we had just seen a bunch of people that a lot of people thought it was.
Yeah.
And now that kind of like seemingly rules all those people out. So that's why the ground support came, I believe, for the Britt Baker and CM Punk. Now we heard loosely Britt Baker shit early on that it would be funny if it was Britt and this was all a fucking big thing because of all the shit that MJF was talking about Britt Baker early on in the career when Adam Cole was even still in NXT. And that this was all one big setup and Adam Cole was going to be one to turn heel or whatever. But obviously the broken ankle in 3 places have kind of fucking, elongated this whole fucking story.
The story,
obviously, we already know about the CM Punk ones because CM Punk's going to be in every fucking conversation until he says I'm retired and no one can say shit anymore. If we're taking actual number chances, chances on Punk, Britt, and then the field, what are you giving it?
So the Brit story to me, I don't think is really there. Like, I understand it. It's like, you
gotta remember, she has not been on TV like at all recently either. Which I think adds fuel to the fire.
Yeah, but it's not like you can book a match for her out of this. That's why it doesn't really make sense.
The devil hasn't done anything active though. She can clearly be the head of the operation.
I thought on the very first time they were participating.
No, they just panned over. There was 3 people beating them up, and they panned over, and it was the devil just standing there. The devil has not actually done any actual activity.
But still, though, it's not leading to a match if you do it that way, right? So what's the point?
Correct, but the match would be Adam Cole versus MJF.
But we can already get that without relation. It just seems like a stretch to me.
Really? You're not that big on Britt Baker being the devil?
Does it feel like...
The Doja Cat video didn't clue you in? Everybody fucking... screenshotting like every little bits and piece of the Doja Cat fucking AEW promo where she's putting up the devil horns?
No, because I don't give a shit about Doja
Cat. So, not reading into that, huh? I mean, AEW does do a lot of that stuff. I'll give them credit for that.
Yeah, but do you think they even know... Okay, here's the question. Do you think AEW knows who the devil is yet?
This is not... Well, with the recent reports, who knows? But I don't think it's as bad as WWE does, no. Like, as WWE would be.
I don't mean do people backstage know what story Tony has. I mean, does Tony know?
I know. I'm agreeing with you. That's a WWE thing, though. I think Tony knows who it's going to be. Now, I'm not saying that it hasn't changed, but I do know that he's not going to continue the story if he doesn't know who it is. Like, he could have changed the story, but he still knows what the end game is to the final.
I don't see.
By the way, do you like the way? I mean, you say, okay, we got it. You don't think it's Britt. Do you like the way that they're actually doing the same thing that they did with Britt when she was injured for a while? That they're still keeping Adam Cole on TV every week in a little bit of way, not as prevalent as she was, obviously, because that was during the COVID era. So you didn't have to worry about all that kind of stuff. But and they were filming the same in the same city, basically, Daly's place every week, so she didn't have to travel around. Obviously, Cole would have to travel around, but do you like the way that they keep him on TV, though?
I do like it's the first time in a while that you've seen in wrestling that people acknowledge that things like cell phones exist. There's a weird
FaceTime.
Yeah, like there's
features on phones, yeah.
Yeah, there's like a weird denial of reality sometimes in wrestling where like somebody will go hunting backstage for someone, tearing shit up, like, bro, just call them. What do you mean? What are you doing? Like, so it is it's sort of funny to be in that way. That's one of the first times where they're just like, oh yeah, people just have phone calls and FaceTime and stuff. That's normal.
All right, if we know you don't think it's Punk, right? We know you don't think it's, now you just said you don't think it's Brit. You think there's a very slim possibility it would be Brit. So forget the number chances. We won't put numbers on it because obviously it would be 0 for Punk and then probably what, like 5% for Brit Baker, something like that, 5-10%. So like, what are some other names that people aren't really throwing out that you're considering that it could be or would be fun to be, like a Kyle O'Reilly or still an Adam Cole, etc.?
Kyle O'Reilly would be interesting, but then what's the point of him having to do the devil thing at all if he just wants to come back as Kyle O'Reilly and reset up the kingdom and all that shit? It doesn't have to hide it, right?
Bobby Fish.
Oh no.
I mean, where's the lie? Guy.
So.
They took out a lot of options on Dynamite. I'm telling you, the way they shot that, and then magically panned over to the fucking cut to the devil after they just got done talking to all these different people and showing all these different people. It's not too many people it could be at this point.
It doesn't make sense in the story at all, but
I think it should be Tony Schiavone. That's who I think it should be. He doesn't like Adam Cole or MJF. He's trying to pit them against each other. This could be Tony Schiavone.
Also,
but he loves Britt Baker. It could be a stable led by Tony Schiavone and Britt Baker.
Not who I think it is, but I think there'd be an interesting thing to explore there, at least a little bit for one program or like over the course of a few weeks. You could make it Sean Spears. He's not doing much, and I feel like he'd be good in that role. A lot of the character work that he's done in the past with the chairman stuff and things like that, he's got that little bit of darker stuff. They could put him in something like that, and it would make sense from the perspective of like the Pinnacle falling apart and all that stuff, if you want to do it that way.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, okay, so the Pinnacle shit, like right before they showed the devil, they showed Wardlow attacking MJF backstage and showing him against the wall, choking him or whatever, telling him that he's coming. You just got done talking to like Samoa Joe and Bullet Club Gold in the back. Like, they eliminated a lot of fucking people. Like, I think Christian Cage was shown back there with his title or some shit. Like, there's just a lot of shit going on. And then it just pans to the devil who's still there and then grabs the camera and it goes black and it's like, oh shit, what the fuck? And we still don't know who it is. Do you think, all right, so we got Kyle O'Reilly, Sean Spears, still Adam Cole would be interesting, obviously, as well.
Yeah.
Especially if he has all his friends in on it, like the Kingdom and Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly.
Pac would be interesting.
Who?
Pac.
Oh, Pac. Yeah, Pac. Do you think that and we'll end it on this, do you think there's a chance that we get a huge step forward in this program at Full Gear?
Do I think there's a chance?
Or do you think it'll be closer to like World's End instead, where we get like a significant step forward on who it is?
Have we heard anything on the timeline for Adam Cole's recovery?
I think he's gonna be done for a while, dude. Three places, 2 different surgeries.
I've heard like months and months. Like, so yeah.
I say Revolution earliest, but I don't even think Revolution, honestly.
The answer to that obviously is going to depend on
if he has anything to do with the outcome of
if he has anything to do with the story. Right, exactly.